Get back on the field, exclusive access, live reports, amazing interviews. I mean, Lev Bell with Kim Jones yesterday was amazing. Check it out on Inside Minicamp Live today at 1 and only on NFL Network. This is our show. It's called Good Morning Football. Good morning on the East Coast, the West Coast, wherever you may be on this Wednesday. Whiteboard Wednesday on the way. Justin Houston on the show. David Johnson. Torrey Holt in studio. You don't want to miss it. But let's talk Packers because they report for mandatory minicamp June 11th. Aaron Rodgers already getting work in. And he even had time to take a lighthearted jab at his new head coach.
I think you guys missed it. He actually had a little tumble on the scooter, so he's being a lot more safe. I actually have a script here I was supposed to read about him because Jimmy kind of ripped him about his athletic ability. But I want to say that Matt LaFleur is a highly athletic former athlete who had an unfortunate accident in the gym. But because of his exceptional diet and work ethic, he'll be back sooner rather than later.
As a Bears fan, this is not what I like to see. But as an NFL fan, as a fan of the Packers, of the NFC North, the football in general, I love seeing Rodgers get a couple of jokes in. So with all the tension that the Packers sort of had going into the season, is this bit of levity a great sign, or am I reading too much into it?
You never want to see an assassin smiling. That means he got his targets lined up. And that's the way I've always looked at some of the great quarterbacks that I've played against. When I would see the quarterback with a huge smile on his face, even the ones that I play with, I knew we were in a good position. I remember playing against Aaron Rodgers. We were in Green Bay, and it was a back-and-forth battle. Third quarter comes around, and he's lighting it up that first drive. I'm talking about throwing absolute lasers and windows that no other quarterback can throw in. And then he drops back one play. He scrambles. He shakes the dude. He comes to the sideline, and he flips it to our kicker. And he had a huge smile on his face, and I thought, it's over. We're about to lose this game. And that's what I see when I look at Aaron Rodgers and he's joking and he's having fun because he's comfortable with the setting he's in. He's comfortable with his coaching staff, comfortable with his wide receivers and the skill players that he has around him, which just like you said, Kay, that's trouble for defenses when they face him.
Fresh start, right? I mean, he was with Mike McCarthy a long time. And I think when you're starting a new relationship, as he is with Matt LaFleur, you need something to break the ice, right? You need to hit that first joke on the date or something. And with Matt LaFleur, it's like they sat down for the date, and in the first 5 seconds, he spilled wine all over himself. I mean, that injury was really awkward. So I do like it. It does break the ice. And Rodgers is feeling it right now. You know, Rodgers for the last 12 days has been taking heat and heat and heat for the beer chugging thing. Courtside at a Milwaukee Bucks game. And the Bucks have been out now, I feel like, for weeks. Chugged a beer really slow. Everyone's been making fun of him. Subsequently, who's been doing it? Trubisky chugged a beer. Mahomes chugged a beer. Josh Allen. Stafford completely dunked on him. And finally, so they would get in front of interviewers, they asked him, so what do you think about all these guys chugging the beers? And here's Aaron Rodgers' exact quote. I'm going to read. He went on the radio station, rather. He goes, well, for some of them, there's finally a talent where they can say they're better than me. And that's a great response right there. That is awesome. I mean, that sounds just like him, right?
I like your Rodgers voice.
Thank you. And I also have my final. We've batted this around a couple of times this week. Who, if of all the remaining 32 starting quarterbacks, you think would be on your beer chugging team? I got my final answers.
You've done some thinking?
I did some research. Okay, I looked into the guys who were Greek, and I don't mean they're from the islands. I mean they're in fraternities in college. My guys, I'm going old. My two beer chuggers, I'm going Drew Brees, Sigma Chi at Purdue.
No way.
And Eli, Sigma Nu at Ole Miss. You cannot survive as a frat pledge unless you can chug a beer. I would guarantee you put in front of Brees and Eli, 2 Super Bowl winners, they'll put that thing down.
Didn't you once tell me that Ross Tucker was the best beer chugger ever?
No, on the contrary. Terrible beer
he's
chugger.
Bad.
That's why they're not made, they're born. Big guys sometimes think you can chug a beer. Tucker's terrible.
Oh, I thought I was going to use that to disrupt your entire research experiment. But clearly, are you a good beer chugger?
I'm the Mahomes of beer chugger.
Are you?
Yeah.
The Princeton kid?
Yeah.
Were you Greek?
Yes. I was the fraternity president, Kay. I once had to chug 33 beers in one night. I'm not kidding. And after the first 5, you just start throwing up and they're all gone.
Sounds like a segment. Let's bring in Will Selva. He's out on the West Coast.
You choked on the show, fam.
I know, it was bad.
In Culver City.
You don't want to challenge me.
With more. Hey, Will.
Right. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Kyle, thank you, sir. May I have another?
Paddle me, Kevin Bacon.
Yes, all right. Well, the primary focus at the Browns' mandatory minicamp is on wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. and how well he meshes with quarterback Baker Mayfield. But the other developing storyline is the future of running back Duke Johnson in Cleveland. Now, of course, he made his request to be known or to be traded known to the franchise, so obviously they're well aware and have even been linked to some trade possibilities this offseason. Although nothing has materialized, he's still participating in minicamp. Johnson says he's fully prepared to be shipped somewhere else if it comes to it.
Do you feel wanted now here?
Nothing has changed. This is the only difference between last week and this week is this is mandatory, and I'm here.
Why do you feel unwanted?
Was kind of put on the trade block to kind of see what the team can get. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I understand the nature of the business. I understand, his job, John Dorsey's job is to do what's best for the team and the organization. And again, if that's getting rid of me for a bigger piece and a better piece, then I'm okay with it. Like I said before, my trade request was to meet them at a middle ground. I was put on the trade block a month before I requested the trade. So that's all it is.
As of now, Duke remains a Brown, but a fellow running back is in a new place. Jordan Howard is now in Philadelphia after 3 seasons in Chicago. It seems like the change of scenery is suiting Howard just fine. Thank you very much. Howard says the Eagles are already allowing him to do more in the offense than he did with the Bears. He says he was one-dimensional for them. Well, Howard hasn't been in Philly for very long, but maybe, just maybe, he'll make just as big of an impact as Carson Palmer did in the short time he was in the desert. The Cardinals announcing Palmer will be inducted into the Ring of Honor during a halftime ceremony on September 29th against the Seahawks. Palmer spent 5 years with the Cardinals. Palmer saying 5 years was not enough for him and wish he had arrived in Arizona sooner. Palmer holds the single-season records for passing yards and touchdowns in franchise history. The Cards hoping Kyler Murray will get the same honor, of course, someday. And the Cardinals took some criticism because some people thought that Larry Centers and perhaps Anquan Bolden were more worthy of the honor. But needless to say, congratulations to Carson Palmer on the honor. And I'm sure he would be on that beer-chugging list of yours, Kyle. I just see it. I can see him at USC. Yep, I can see it.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. It's funny with him going into the Ring of Honor for the Cardinals. Do you think of Carson Palmer as a Cardinal or a Bengal? What's your thought?
I think of him more as a Bengal, and I know that people in Cincinnati, yes, I think of him. So that's why it was a little weird to see this. You know that he has those franchise records there in the desert, but I still see him as that Cincinnati Bengal. Yep. Absolutely.
Appreciate you. What do you think, Nate?
I look at him as a Redskin. I mean,
as a Cardinal.
As a Cardinal.
Yeah.
Cardinal?
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys think?
Ask anybody in LA to think of him as a Trojan.
Yeah.
Always.
Hashtag GMFB.
Or the Raider years?
You omitted him from your beer chugging.
Well, he's not an eligible quarterback. Carson,
saying,
prove me wrong.
Saying.
You got a phone.
Baker, he could probably drink a beer.
Hell yeah.
All those two are together at last, but are they the hottest duo in the NFL? I'd say Jarvis and Odell are a pretty hot duo.
Talk about it.
We'll bring it up and discuss later on. And the 4-time Pro Bowler, Justin Houston, is joining us to talk about his new...
Joined by one of the NFL's most dangerous pass rushers in the entire league. This dude is a monster, one of the newest Indianapolis Colts. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He ranks 5th in the league with 73 sacks over the last 7 seasons. He posted the 2nd most sacks we've ever seen in a single season. Well, check this number out.
What you got?
22 back in 2014. Woo! Please welcome to the show a beast on the field, a monster rushing the passer, Justin Houston! What's up, Jay?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
I'm good.
We're awake.
We're up, man. We appreciate you joining us. So try to come with it, man. I want you to bring this energy. I know it's early, so thank you. Now, Justin, after 8 seasons in Kansas City, you decided to go with the Indianapolis Colts. You had plenty of suitors, as we all know. Everybody was yelling your name. Why did you pick Indy, though?
I met with the coaches. I met with the GM. And just wanting to be in a 4-3. I think I didn't get enough credit for me being in a 3-4 and dropping a lot of the time. So my sack numbers wasn't as high as I would like for them to be. So just being in a 4-3 and don't have to think about dropping no more is something I want to do for the rest of my career. I just want to go forward and rush the passer.
You met with Coach Reich. He has done nothing but praise the leadership ability you've brought to the team already. Clearly, he has big plans for you. You already mentioned the 4-3. We'll talk about just the locker room, Justin. What is it like? You're on a new team, new environment, new teammates. Tell us the vibe right now in Indy.
It's a great vibe. A bunch of young guys, they're willing to learn. They want to listen. So anytime I'm speaking, they all ears. They just want to take notes every time I'm trying to help coach them up. And it's great to be around a good group of young guys that have a lot of energy. It keep you young.
I love that. You also have a new teammate in Andrew Luck, and he's fascinating, isn't he? Because he famously unique relationship with pass rushers. We always see it, and it's weird and cool. He'll dap up somebody who just hit him or sacked him and say things like, good hit, when he gets dropped. So you've hit him quite a few times in your career. Have you ever had any of those interactions? And how do you react to that? What do you make of it?
I think my first sack off him, we was in the playoffs the year they came back and beat us. And I got a pretty good hit on him, and he just got off the ground, was like, good tackle. It was surprising to me because most quarterbacks, they teed off, they just got hit. But he had a smile on his face, and he was like, good tackle. So it threw my game off a little bit. I was surprised by that.
As probably that's what he wants to do, and he's also a really nice guy. Now that you know him a little bit better, even initially, what else have you learned about Andrew Luck in this time?
The way he worked, I didn't know you hear about people working, but I see it with my own eyes. Like, he's in early and he leaves late, and he's just constantly working to get better in all phases of his game. So when you have a quarterback, a leader like that just constantly working, everybody get to see him work, it motivates the whole locker room.
All right, now, Justin, you have the 5th annual Faith Before Fame weekend later this month. Tell us about that weekend and what it's all about and how people can get involved.
It's about giving back to the kids. I know growing up, I didn't have the opportunity to meet a lot of NFL players, or any at that point. And it just to tell the kids to keep the faith alive and keep your hope alive, because it's going to be tough times. When you're going after your dreams, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but you got to let them know that always stay positive. No matter what happens, you can always accomplish your goals. Just got to continue to work.
It's a great message. It's a great cause, of course, Justin. Before you go, we see guys like Von Miller, J.J. Watt. We know a lot about them. They're out a lot. Can you tell us something about you as a person off the field, what you're into, movies, TV, food, whatever? We want to learn a little bit about you as a person, man.
Well, I love to go to the movies. Me and my wife, I like action movies. I play the video games a lot. NBA 2K, Call of Duty, Division. Nice. Besides that, I'm with my kids, or either I'm at work. I take my craft real seriously. So to me, I really don't have too much time off. I'm always trying to figure out a way to get better or better my game.
So I'm talking about Peter Griffin, Family Guy right there. Hey, Justin, listen, we're huge fans. We appreciate you taking the time and join us in. Listen, you look good in the red, but you look fantastic in that blue.
Yeah.
Do your thing. And we're looking forward to that Sunday night game where you face your former team, man. Go out there and get like 3 or 4 sacks and do a little dance for us, man.
That would be nice. Appreciate y'all.
That one is circled on the calendar. Thank you so much, Justin. Houston, we have David Johnson joining the show. We have Torrey Holt in studio, so stay tuned for that. We've got your mandatory minicamp headlines as well. And the best wide receiver tournament continues. It is decided today from 16 to 8. Who's deciding? You are. Should it be Michael Thomas? Should it be A.J. Green? Those two pitted against each other in a bracket. And elsewhere in the league, Le'Veon Bell lights it up on his first day in New York. I almost feel like he was born for New York City.